Viewers, Kapil Sibal, Milind Deora, Vijender Singh, Sanjay Nirupam, Jaiveer Shergill, Jyotiraditya Scindia, and now in yet another massive jolt to the Congress, their prime-time face and most public-facing office bearer, Vallabh, has quit the grand old party. Now, in all honesty, ahead of elections, party members do switch over in search of greener pastures. We've seen this. There's even a steady flow of leaders that come into the BJP, leave the BJP, they take tickets in other political parties and they contest as de facto rebels. But viewers, in the recent past, when some have deserted the Congress, it has even been asked if they were doing so because they were compelled to do so to escape action from belligerent investigative agencies like the ED or the CBI. That they have joined the BJP because the BJP is a de facto alleged washing machine where the moment you join, the ED action stops, the CBI action stops, you can live a life in peace. But when leaders who have no ostensible compulsions other than preserving their dignity or because the party is straying from its commitment, then one has to pay attention to the reasons. Vallabh's critic of the Congress is scathing and raises troubling questions about its own stated commitment to inclusiveness. Viewers, let me read to you what Vallabh wrote today when he submitted his resignation to party president Mr. Kharge. I'll take the soundbite in just 20 seconds, but let me just read to you, viewers, because these are words that he has penned. And when you write, you often still your thoughts and you methodically construct your opinion. So let me quote him. He said, I posted a letter in the morning on various social media platforms. In that letter, I wrote all the pains of my heart. This has been my view from the beginning, that the temple of Lord Sri Ram in Ayodhya should be built. An invitation was received and Congress rejected the invitation. I cannot accept it. The leaders of the alliance raised questions on Sanatana Dharma. Why was Congress not responding to it? He's obviously referring, viewers, in this context to the DMK. He goes on to say, I joined BJP today and hope to use my ability and knowledge to take India forward. I do not feel comfortable with the directionless way in which the Congress party is moving forward today. I can neither raise anti-Sanatana slogans nor abuse the wealth creators of the country. Obviously, he's referring, viewers, to Adani and Ambani that are regularly targeted by the Congress brass, including Rahul Gandhi. He goes on to then say, it is for all these reasons I am resigning from all posts and primary membership of the Congress party, unquote. Listen in now to Vallabh.
You've joined BJP today and your tenure or time with the Congress party was more than a decade. What led you to take this decision? Because you've been very critical of Bharatiya Janata Party.
See, I had written one letter to Congress President Shri Mallikarjun Kharge Sahab. In that letter, I had highlighted broadly 3 points. Number one, when leaders of Congress party and leaders of the alliance are abusing Sanatan, and at that time Congress party is silent, then it is not silent acceptance of the issue. Then what is that? I can't tolerate that. I can't appear on television and justify those remarks. I condemn them. I condemn them in totality. That statements are not acceptable at all.
The Congress has, of course, come out with a formulaic response. Listen in, viewers.
जहां तक वल्लभ जी को पार्टी ने क्या नहीं दिया, 2 चुनाव पार्टी ने लड़वाया, सारे मौका उनको दिए। उसके बावजूद अगर किसी को लगता है कि जो हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी में उनको ज़्यादा उनकी बेहतर हालत होगी, उनको ज़्यादा मौके मिलेंगे, तो उनके लिए हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते। अब कुछ तो बोलना पड़ेगा उनको जाने के लिए, तो हो जाए।
But it won't be easy for the party to dismiss Vallabh's central grouse that the Congress is anti-Hindu in its ideological orientation. He's saying it, viewers, and he has resigned on the back of it. It won't be easy because the Congress party's actions give it away, and a record in black and white is difficult to brush aside. Now, here are some hard facts, and I always bring you these hard facts, viewers, so that you can separate the wheat from the chaff, so that you are armed with facts that can help you construct an argument that is effective when you want to share insights with others, in your friend circles, for example. Now, here are these hard facts that underline Vallabh's claims. Viewers, you will remember that the Congress party says that we stand for every stripe, every creed, every caste. But then it has to explain why it codified Hindu personal laws but exempted minority personal laws. It has to explain why it refused demands to repeal law to free Hindu temples from state control, why it advocated and legislated preferential quotas for Muslims, why it publicly proclaimed Muslims have the first right on state resources. Viewers, there are several more that one can add, several more hard facts. But I won't have the time, simply. I want to open this up. And let's ask some straight, frank questions. And one hopes to get straight and frank answers. Now, let me begin with you, Mr. Rohan Mitra. You're a political analyst who backs the Congress point of view. I want to ask you, Mr. Vallabh gets up and says that, look, I'm quitting. I am not going to be party to people who attack the Sanatan, who have a problem attending the consecration ceremony or the inauguration of the Ram Mandir, and who can't bring themselves, though they proclaim that they are inclusive, can't bring themselves to even pull up or take a position against their allies who are hate-mongering against the Hindu community. What has he said wrong? Number one. Number two, he has no ED pressure, no CBI breathing down his neck to suddenly up stakes and quit. It's not as if he's being made a minister or he's even given a ticket. So I want to ask you, will you still categorize Vallabh's statements as rhetoric, or will you accept that yes, there is some reality here and one must hear these people? And he's not alone, of course. There was Kapil Sibal before him, different reasons. There was Milind Deora, Vijender Singh, Sanjay Nirupam, Jaiveer Shergill. The list is long, and you know what I mean.
Good evening, Rahul. Today is a sad day, no doubt, that Mr. Vallabh leaving the Congress party is because let's accept the fact that Mr. Vallabh has been a fierce critic of this Modi regime in the last 10 years, and he's been on the TV studios more than on the streets, and he's been known as a very good speaker. There's no doubt about it. But you have to understand a couple of things here. Mr. Vallabh has been given the ticket from the Congress party twice. He's approaching 50 years of age. So the man needs to move on because he's a career politician. He's a career politician who's looking to move to the parliament, who wants to be seen in the Lok Sabha, who wants to be in the Rajya Sabha, because he's plateaued out as a spokesperson. This is what I feel. For him to say what he said today, this is the most easiest thing to say today. Because Mr. Vallabh, for that matter, he was part of this inner core group when Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge became the Congress president. He was part of the Congress office. He was doing all the communications for Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. For him to say that all this time he was unhappy because the Congress did not go to the Ram temple inauguration. For him to say that, the allies who were criticizing the Sanatan Dharma. Mr. Vallabh was part of the alliance when DMK was part of the alliance in 2019 as well, when he was a candidate. So for him to say that today the DMK, for that matter, is against the Sanatan Dharma and he has an objection to it, and the Congress is not speaking up on it, I just think it just suits his narrative to move to the BJP. And it is what it is.
But
He's a career politician now.
One
He's
second,
moved
sir.
on
Let
to
me
the
ask
BJP.
you
He
a
has to say
pointed
the
question,
words
Mr.
he has to
Mitra.
be heard.
Look, all that, I am not discounting the possibility of opportunism, and I began by saying that, look, this happens. People do shift before elections, etc., etc. But sometimes you have to pay attention to what they're saying. So, Mr. Mitra, I want to ask you, is it not true that personal laws were codified selectively in this country? Yes or no?
Go on. I'm listening to you. I mean, I'll answer you in the whole picture.
First
Let me just.
My first one,
Yeah.
yes or no?
If you're saying that, I mean, I don't have the facts on me. If
You
you're
don't have
saying
the
it, yes, I'll
facts?
believe you. I don't have the facts on this.
Okay.
I was
This is
briefed
bizarre,
by your
viewers.
guest that we were going to have this conversation.
This is bizarre. Okay, let me ask you the second question. Isn't it true that you refuse to adhere to demands to repeal the law to free Hindu temples from state control, especially in Karnataka? Yes or no, sir?
Rahul, when we came onto this conversation, we are talking about specifics here.
Yeah, I'm only
no,
elaborating on the point. What Mr. Vallabh has said is that intrinsically, the Congress has a problem with Hindus. It abuses
Absolutely not.
and
No, no.
tolerates
So
the
then
abuse
what was Mr.
of Sanatan. So I'm asking you,
Rahul,
so,
Mr.
just
Vallabh
please,
was in the Congress party
sir,
since
Mr. Moitra,
10 years now, as you just said.
Mr. Mitra, people can actually have a rethink. Now, I am not wanting to get into a larger polemical discussion with you. I'm asking very pointed questions. Is it not true that you advocated and legislated preferential quotas for Muslims, sir? Yes or no?
And Mr. Vallabh was part of this Congress party for the last 10
Publicly
years.
proclaimed that Muslims have the first right on state resources? Yes or no?
That was out of context, Rahul.
Oh, I see.
What Mr. Manmohan Singh said was taken out of context. So please don't bring it up
Okay,
and
so
say
I
that
want
that
you to
was
do me a
specifically for
favor,
the Muslims.
Rohan Mitra. Just do me a favor. You Google, forget me. I'm tired of bringing out that quote in its entirety and playing it out. Why don't you Google and show me one place where it is mentioned clearly by any newspaper of that time that we made a mistake and that we quoted the Prime Minister out of context. You do it, and I'm waiting for you. We are not running away. Let me
No.
Let me
This
extend this.
this is not the debate where the we cannot go back in time and look up.
No, why
each
can't
and
you go
every-
back in time? Because Mr. Mitra
then you
is
should go back to
challenging.
each- no,
Mr.
you
Mitra
should
is
go-
challenging the.
You should go back to each and every moment where the BJP has made a U-turn on their
on what?
policies and their matters.
On what? On what?
On various matters.
On
where-
what?
Let's ask Mr. Hemanta Biswa Sharma. What was he when he was in the Congress, and what was the BJP
So,
talking
Mr.
about
Mitra,
him?
Mr.
That
Mitra,
Subhendu
Mr.
Adhikari,
Vallabh, Mr.
when he
Vallabh
was-
is going to do the same. When he becomes the spokesperson for the BJP and he's going to now defend a lot of things that as a Congress spokesperson he had a problem with. Now, I'm only saying, sir, Mr. Mitra, I'm only saying that you and I, every civilized human being has A, the capacity and B, the right to change their stand. What is wrong with that? And if he is now become a critic.
Absolutely. So that is the case of in politics today.
Yes, no.
If
it's not the
a
state of
gentleman woke
politics.
up in the morning
It's
and he decided to go into BJP, he said it in the media. He slept and
So-
he woke up
so
and he wanted
viewers-
to change his ideology.
Okay,
so that's
so
fine.
the Congress could care two figs, as they say in the English language, about what Vallabh is saying. They could care no less about what Kapil Sibal said 2 years ago. Kapil Sibal, who stood up in court and defended Congress policies, walks out saying the party is in a shambles, that the party is no longer democratic at the core. You can disown everybody. You can call them all opportunists. It's fine, Mr. Mitra. I am no one to contest your point. I was only asking you 4 questions to bring out the real problem here that Mr. Vallabh has suddenly discovered. Now, let me bring in the editor of ANI, Smita Prakash. Smita Prakash, look, as I began by saying, people look to greener pastures, but sometimes you have to look very closely at what is the trigger for the move. And do you believe that Vallabh is an opportunist for the sake of being an opportunist, or does he actually have a point that he has used to quit?
One, I think opportunist is not a negative term in my lexicon. I don't think there's anything wrong in opportunism in politics. As far as people quitting the Congress is concerned, Rahul, when you talk about Kapil Sibal or you talk about any of these people who walked out at some point of time or were frustrated, they're individual politicians. But when it comes to spokespersons, these guys, they go on TV channels day after day and to have to defend the party, sometimes on ridiculous comments made by somebody, on decisions which were awkward, absurd, and they have to swallow their ego. They take abuse from rival parties. They literally have to put their reputation online every single day when they come on TV channels. But when Jaiveer, Shehzad, Gaurav, Priyanka Chaturvedi, so many of them, when they leave, and then you have people saying, why now? It's like, asking a woman who walks out of a bad marriage that, oh, we saw you last time in Diwali standing next to your husband. You were all decked up. Why suddenly are you divorcing? It's not sudden. It's something, when a marriage breaks, it's something that is boiling within for quite some time. Each person who has left the Congress party, Rahul, has penned a sad note. They've talked about a frustration. So, on the Congress party, many could say, oh, what a train wreck. But you can't even say that because a train wreck would mean an accident. This is not an accident. It's not even an implosion, which would be something which is sudden. It's self-inflicted decay of leadership and of ideas. And it's because of that you have a situation where Sonia Gandhi is not leading. She's left it to Rahul Gandhi, who doesn't want to lead. And so, if we were to use a floral metaphor in the spring season, it's like he's sitting about and chopping branches which have fruit and flower, which are laden with fruit and flower, which is young people who are energized, who want to do something and get frustrated. Like even say, an Anil Antony in Kerala, how long are you supposed to wait? Or a Jaiveer Shergill in Punjab. You just keep waiting, and now a month before election, you're seeing this exodus because they are bereft of ideas. So, one just feels that a Congress party which should have led the India Alliance, because it's the largest party with a pan-India presence in the opposition, is not even able to hold on to its own ranks. It's quite a pathetic affair that they don't even they don't even try to put up a fight. Forget about being responsible for the junior workers who are leaving. Just a bankruptcy of ideas and
forget about people who've quit and might be looking at greener pastures. There is a man called Revanth Reddy, the chief minister of one of the states that the Congress just won, and he stood up standing next to Mr. Modi, and he said, and I quote, that if Telangana is to develop, it has to follow the Gujarat model. The same Gujarat model that I remember Gaurav Vallabh at one time castigating. And of course, Rahul Gandhi regularly castigates. So, Revanth Reddy hasn't crossed the floor. And many people will now say, oh, he might be also looking to cross the floor. This is, that Operation Kamal going on and this, that, the other. Well, viewers, sometimes the writing is on the wall and you have to look at it. And this brings me to a connected issue, and I want to bring in Tehseen Poonawala, who's related to this individual that we're going to talk about, and also Karan Verma. And I would like Smita Prakash also to give her larger perspective on this. Viewers, Gaurav Vallabh, who doesn't come from the privilegencia, is exiting the Congress, but the likes of Robert Vadra are only too happy to fill the gaps. The Gandhi in-law today threw his hat into the Amethi ring, demanding a ticket to contest from there. Listen in to Robert Vadra, why he considers himself eligible.
मुझे लग रहा है कि वो चाहते हैं कि गांधी परिवार का कोई भी सदस्य वापस आए, वहाँ वो भारी बहुमत से जिताएंगे, यहाँ तक कि वो मेरे से भी प्रेरणा करते हैं और आशा करते हैं कि मैं वहाँ अपना पहला कदम अगर राजनीति में रखता हूँ और सांसद बनने की सोचता हूँ तो मैं अमेठी को ही रिप्रेजेंट करूँ, क्योंकि मैंने 99 से अपनी जो प्रचार प्रियंका के साथ शुरू किया वो अमेठी में ही था.
His decision to claim Amethi for himself and the High Command's reported openness to the idea suggests Two things. First, Rahul Gandhi has pretty much decided to forego contesting from Amethi. Second, that a hefty surname is qualification enough in the Congress that presumably looks upon Amethi as a fief reserved for members of the Gandhi Parivar. And let me bring in a member of Robert Vadra's Parivar, Tehseen Poonawalla. Now, Tehseen Poonawalla, look, Mr. Mitra ji here, who we just brought on to the show, said that, Gaurav Vallabh had hit a glass ceiling in the Congress, so he left, and, there was really nothing much more we could do for him. And here you have somebody who is going to break the glass ceiling. He hasn't spent one day in the Congress organization like Gaurav Vallabh has, or Shehzad Poonawalla had, or Mr. Sibbal had, or the great Dioras had for 50, 60 years, or the Chavans had, even though they came from the privilegencia within the Congress ecosystem. But Robert Vadra thinks that he should get the ticket from Amethi. Tehseen Poonawalla, why can't you get the ticket? Or Sanjay Jha, for example, who speaks so passionately about the Congress and its great, as you know, its great democratic credentials. Why couldn't he get it? Or why couldn't your brother Shehzad Poonawalla get that ticket? Can't hear you, Tehseen Poonawalla. Yeah, please.
For starters, Shehzad can't get it because he's the BJP national spokesperson. So obviously he can't
I
get
talked
it.
about when he was there. Anyhow.
But he should. But congratulations to Smitaji. One more exclusive ANI bite. That was on ANI and it was trending. So ANI is breaking the news. So congratulations, Smitaji. But let me just come on. I actually think it's quite a good idea. I don't know why you're looking at it from a different lens, Rahul. Now, let me give my perspective. Just yesterday, I was privileged to be on your show and a couple of days prior to that. And you, Rahul, cornered me and he said, look, Amethi is such an important constituency. Why are the Gandhis or people close to the Gandhis abandoning it? Now, if somebody from the family is proposing, he's not a decision maker. It shows that Congress is democratic. He's one of the applicants. And I told you that there are many applicants for Amethi. The poor guy is applying for something. I think that's good. That shows there's democracy in the party. That shows that, like every ordinary worker, he too is hoping for a chance, and the party high command will take a decision, which includes Kharge ji. So I think it's good, and that also answers Rahul's very pertinent question: why somebody from the Gandhi is running away. So there is all the boxes are being ticked. Instead of congratulating, you're counter questioning. I'm surprised.
Tehseen Poonawalla, I think you have got the entire thing completely confused. I was very specific. I said, no, 1 second. I said, why isn't Rahul Gandhi or his sister Priyanka contesting from Raebareli? At least she has gone there and spent time and been the manager of her mother's campaign. So she could at least be a shoo-in. And what is wrong in saying to Rahul Gandhi, please go back to your Karma Bhumi, don't run away to Wayanad? I mean, one would think that Rahul Gandhi, to prove a point to the BJP that their politics is useless, would defeat them. Like one of the brave Mahabharat Pandavas in their own Gad, in Kurukshetra of Indian politics, which is Uttar Pradesh. What is wrong in asking for that?
Nothing wrong.
So there you go.
But,
so I'm asking you, he lost, did he not? Rahul Gandhi lost. He lost, yes or no? He lost. Why do you think he lost? Because the people lost faith. He lost faith. No, I'm talking about Rahul Gandhi here. Let's not talk about Mr. Vajpayee. Indira Gandhi also lost, my dear. But I'm only asking you, this is a facile argument. I'm asking you a simple question. Rahul Gandhi got rejected by the people of Amethi because they thought that he wasn't up for it. He couldn't do much. He was ineffectual.
May I answer
Yes.
that? May I answer that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so there are two aspects to your question. Aspect number one, the Congress has a strategy for Raebareli and Amethi, as I told you last time on your show. Let the strategy come through. Why do you assume nobody's contesting from Raebareli? You have no idea, Rahul. In Uttar Pradesh, the BJP is not crossing 35 seats. It is 24, 25 seats for SP and 10 odd seats for the Congress.
Fair enough.
They have a very good
Fair
strategy.
enough. I'm sure you're winning. You're winning Uttar Pradesh. Look, I'm not going to sit here and look. I only go by the poll that we put out, and the poll showed. Okay.
BJP 160.
Okay, Tehseen Poonawalla, you were there when News18 put out its own poll, and that poll showed us something that
And I
seem
will
to
tell
suggest
you,
that,
since then-
yes, that's fine.
since
It's
then-
fine. It's okay.
Okay, one more thing. I
But
just
the
have one more
question
thing
that
to
is
say.
not being
One last thing.
answered, if Rahul Gandhi is not qualified enough, having won that seat twice over, how does Mr. Vadra qualify at all? What are his qualifications, Smita Prakash? Explain. And I want to bring in Karan right after this.
I'm so sorry to butt in, Karan, but I just have to come in. Thank you so much for having me on this show, Rahul, where we are discussing about Amethi, and a Gandhi family in-law wants to stand there while you have a Vadra family in-law on the panel. So it's a very interesting situation that is there on this panel right now. But like they say, you live in interesting times. But it's not just Robert saying that he wants to stand for election from Amethi. The interesting thing is that he's saying that he has been approached by some other parties who are saying, what is the delay in you standing from Amethi? So I don't know, it seems that, and he's saying that other parties are willing to back me, is what he has said. So is he trying to send a message to the Congress party that if you don't put me as a candidate in Amethi, I could stand from some other party? In that case, which are the political parties which have reached out to him? Is it the Samajwadi Party, or then who knows, it could be the BJP, right? They took Menaka Gandhi in at one point of time. They took Varun Gandhi in at one point of time from the Gandhi family. They had to thumb their nose at Sonia Gandhi. So now are they going to bring in Damadji into their party,
Maybe
the BJP? If they could
with
bring
the way
this
things are
boxer
going,
Vijendra, who suddenly
Smita
overnight
Prakash,
has this epiphany, he could be.
Well, with the way things are going for the AAP that has sort of almost bereft, denuded, they might be actually the ones who might have approached him. Who knows? The Mango people, as he once called the Aam Aadmi Party. Again, it was a bite that put out by ANI, which made the news, if you remember. But Karan Verma, let's just bring you into this. What does this show? The Congress culture, Vallabh goes, someone who was trying to stand on his own 2 feet, and now you have this privileged set that wants to stake claim. What's going on?
Our friend, Mr. Rohan Mitra, he just said, Gaurav Vallabh had contested in 2 elections and he was already 50 years old. So it was time for him to move on. By that argument, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is well over 50. He's lost 42 out of the last 57 elections, lost in Amethi. So should he also move on? The answer from him would be no, because he's entitled. He's a dynast. So, nothing can be more clearer than this, that there are certain individuals who are given privileges. And look at the statement of Robert Vadra. गांधी परिवार का ही एक कोई सदस्य चाहिए अमेठी को. अरे भाई, who are you to decide कि गांधी परिवार का हिस्सा चाहिए? Why was Smriti Irani elected the last time? They feel that, they can stake claim to Amethi. Amethi is not something you can stake claim to. Look at Smriti Irani in contrast. She's become a voter there. She has served the people of Amethi. They did not even have a proper medical college till Rahul Gandhi was there. Hardly any coverage in terms of gas connections, tap water connections. So the fact of the matter is Congress doesn't believe in grinding and coming its way up. There have been people like Sunil Jakhar who said 50 साल से हमारा साथ था, 3 पीढ़ियों का हमारा साथ था, Captain Amrinder Singh, but we had to leave Congress. They still think that they are a bunch of hopeless people who were striving for power. Sorry, sir, you can't undermine everyone and dump them and say they were all opportunists. Fine, there is something called opportunism in politics, but the truth is ताउम्र यही गलती करता रहा, धूल कांग्रेस के चेहरे पे थी, आईना साफ करता रहा. It's time you looked within and understood that you are a sinking ship today. You can't even fulfill your promises. You are today seen as anti-Sanatan. That was a very big statement said by Gaurav Vallabh, and our friend Rohan was denying it. You look at Congress's alliances everywhere. IUML has been their partner. AIMIM has been their partner. Indian Secular Front has been their partner in Bengal. What do you expect then? Look, leave aside your statements, look at your alliances. You allow rallies of PFI. You take support of SDPI. So I think you pretty much wear your anti-Sanatan colors on your sleeve. People like Priyank Khadge, Karti Chidambaram, you have even supported parties like DMK. You are in alliance with them who talk about eradication of Sanatan. So Congress has themselves to blame where they are heading. Even former chief ministers like Ghulam Nabi Azad have dumped them. So I really think they need to take a hard look at themselves.
So Mr. Mitra, let me just ask you, opportunists are very good, sensing in which direction the pole wind is blowing. If they're all leaving like rats deserting a sinking ship, then what does it say? And look at your seat graph over the last 10 years.
Rahul, two quick points. One is to Karan. Karan, Mr. Gandhi is still a sitting MP in the parliament. So he won from Wayanad. So for him to leave the party, that's a different. He resigned as the party president when the Congress lost in 2019. Coming back to your question, Rahul, let's put it out here. In a democracy, one party wins, one party loses. It's just the way it is. Even in the UK, we are seeing that the Labour Party is going to come to power.
Okay.
Does that mean that the Tories are going to stop contesting elections? This is a part of democracy. We are fighting on our own agendas, on own manifesto. So let this happen.
Okay.
Once the election results come out on the 4th of June, you and me both can discuss what happened in the election results. Till then, let's not comment on what can happen and let's think some positives.
Well, viewers, willy-nilly, till Mr. Kharge was elected, so to speak, it was the Gandhis that were ruling the Congress also as presidents and overseeing its decline. They're still around, viewers, very much in the contest. And could be, if the Congress wins, as Tehseen Poonawalla is saying, prime ministerial candidates also. Imagine, viewers, just think about that. Any CEO that has a run unquestioned for so long. Anyhow, viewers, we are coming back because